I have been thinking a hell of a lot about, is there truth? There isn't. But I think a lot of things that have been going on lately have kind of made us question or re-establish that there isn't any truth anyway. So don't you all worry about that. Quinton Reviews from the internet, from YouTube. And he was talking about how shock horror documentary isn't all truth. Yeah, I know, shocking. Like, I don't know where we got the idea that documentary is news or truth, but the very first documentary, Nanook of the North, also a setup, just as scripted as the fucking Kardashians. We all happily watch reality TV knowing it's not reality. I don't want to spook y'all, but like documentaries, they can't be truth because every choice that a filmmaker makes is a layer of subjectivity on top of just like reality, right? And then on top of that, even if you just pointed a camera at a fucking wall and let stuff go back and forth, your eyes and your lens and like the context that you're viewing it, all layers changing that thing from the truth. The point is there is no truth. There's just subjective opinions. But that's cool. We've got hermeneutics to deal with it. Like, it's fine. Like, the whole world is built on the theory of interpretation, and that's totally cool. But we are in now a place where we have world leaders who are post-truth. So obviously, our favorite orange idiot is now suggesting that you can cure your coronavirus by disinfecting, like injecting disinfectant inside yourself.
He's not the first idiot to make this suggestion, but they all seem to.
President.
President.
Can I read the quote, or do you want to read the quote?
And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute. Trump said 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something by an injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see it gets in the lungs and it does a tremendous number in the lungs.
Tremendous.
So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So that was a very clumsy way to say disinfectant kills the virus. Can we get disinfectant inside us?
Do you remember when Trump first got elected? And there was a period of maybe 3 months where it was like bizarro world and we were all getting used to having like an actual sort of, whether he's a troll, whether he's like actually an idiot, in charge.
Oh yeah, how much is he putting it on and how much is that him?
Yeah, but there was a movement of just like, do not forget this is not normal.
If I were making any other TV show and my character drank bleach, there would be issues about the time slot that show ran in because kids could see it and be influenced to do something dangerous. And yet the leader of the free world is going on primetime TV saying, maybe we should drink bleach.
Again, when he suggested chloroquine, a man ate some and died.
They've been saying soap kills the virus all along. Why isn't he advocating we all eat bars of soap?
He probably just read the news.
What did he think was happening when we washed hands?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is terrifying. But anyway, there isn't any truth, and that's fine. But you shouldn't inject Tide Pods inside your body, because that's not how that works. You don't need to know why. Just take it from people who are smarter than Donald Trump.
Or bang a few lines of Ajax, and if you don't get coronavirus,
Put
you'll be vindicated. Below. Yeah, put it in the comments below.
How many movies, books and comic books do you think are going to come out in 2021 about the coronavirus? Like, do you think there's going to be like a romantic comedy about people up on the rooftops? Do you think there's going to be like a thriller thing about someone on Zoom who's like coming into your house, creeping on Zoom, trying to, I don't know, kill you on Zoom?
There already was that whole film built around webcam.
Yeah.
Like the whole film is on webcam.
Yeah, but that was unique at this point. Now it's just like everyone's live, so it's like, who cares?
I mean, you could like remake Contagion about this and do the same sort of, treat it like a procedural drama.
Who would be the Australian?
Here's where it came out. Oh, it'd be Jude Law again with fake teeth. But yeah, you do sort of like a procedural drama and you follow it and stuff like that, and lots of Soderbergh's close-ups on hands touching things and creating fomites.
But I guess I'm thinking like all the screenwriters who are at home processing their thoughts.
Like when Home and Away catches up to this period, is the coronavirus going to come to Summer Bay?
It'll be weird. It'll be that thing where it's weird if it isn't in the show, because it makes it feel like it isn't the real world.
Well, it depends how long it goes. Like this goes for as well. If this ends up being a 6-month blip in our history,
right,
that'd be sort of different as to whether this goes on for years and years and years. Yeah.
Like when we were watching Better Call Saul, it was weird but refreshing that they weren't in coronavirus time. And I get that that's historical, so I guess it's less weird. But like,
But that's like everything we watch.
I suppose.
Like I watch The Simpsons and I'm like, why are they mentioning social distancing? And then I watched some Doctor Who and I'm like, what about the coronavirus? He should mention right now on Earth. Ooh, pretty sickly.
Look, representation is everything. So.
Apparently, yeah. One of the few non-news-based entertainment products that's still having new content created is wrestling at the WWE, but they're not acknowledging the coronavirus at all. They keep using the term current circumstances.
Oh, dark, isn't it?
Coming together as we are in these current circumstances.
Why can't they say coronavirus? Is it like they add
because you don't want to remind people of the, like, it's bad enough the physical dangers of wrestling. You don't want to remind the audience of the viral danger of these guys wrestling. You know, it's kind of like condoms in porn. You don't want to be reminded of the terrible dangers of sex. But that's what condoms
in the porn
do.
that I make.
Yeah, I know, and it's an ethical decision. But when people watch that, they're like, condoms, oh, that's right, because of the AIDS or even worse, pregnancy. So it's the same sort of thing. You were drawing attention to something that isn't conducive to the vibe you were trying to create in your product. And so that's why they keep calling it the current circumstances.
All right, let's change the name of this channel to Current Circumstances.
Current Circumstances.
It's much vaguer, and I think it will serve us better when this is no longer a thing.
Because no matter what the circumstances are, they're always current. But yeah, because there's no, like, all the serialized drama shows have slowed down or stopped, we're not really going to know until the world picks up on the other side. And obviously there'll be a scramble from the studios to do some sort of hero story.
Like, is there going to be
Love in the time of
Meryl
coronavirus.
Streep or like some kind of like Oscar bait thing of like people using tin cans to like connect.
A tale of corona.
Or people like it's about loneliness, you know? Like loneliness. Like we were lonely before and now we're lonely, you know? Some shit. It's about how society is. We're living in a society!
I always felt lonely, but it wasn't until coronavirus that I realized that we were also isolated.
Like, I realized that I was not very social until I was distant.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So, who would you cast as your hero in your social distancing film?
Oh, would it still be Nicolas Cage?
Oh, really?
No, he would be reprising his role as the virus specialist that he played in The Rock.
It's a cholinesterase inhibitor. Stops the brain from sending nerve messages down the spinal cord within 30 seconds. Any epidermal exposure or inhalation, and you'll know. Twinge at the small of your back as the poison seizes your nervous system. Do not move that!
So he'd be playing that character again.
Excellent.
We'd get Sean Connery out of retirement. And yeah, the cure to the coronavirus is in some sort of vault they're going to break into.
100%.
I wonder if, like, you know, the tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Do you think we'll watch these in like 20 years' time and it'll be kind of like, remember when we lived through that thing?
Yeah, I mean, like if you lose someone to cancer, you're a bit twitchy around cancer for a bit or something like that. I remember the day Dad died, my mother, I'm like hanging out with Mum afterwards because everyone else had to like go back to their business because it was a long death. And she's like, oh, have you seen a show called The Last Ship? Well, watch that. It's fun trash. And we're watching it, and in it, they help someone die. And I'm just like, you've seen this episode. Why did you pick this episode? And the nurse is like, it's okay. The pain has stopped. It's okay to go. And I'm like, I've heard several times in the last couple of days the sentences, it's okay to go. You can go now. And it was not fun. It wasn't, I didn't like freak out and run out of the room or cry or anything like that. But I was like, this has kind of undermined the pleasure of escapism I was going into. And I figure anyone watching, you know, Coronavirus 2 Electric Boogaloo, they know what they're getting into. It's not going to surprise them. And so maybe they just won't choose to watch it.
So you think we
but
need
I don't
some
know
distance?
if there'll be, we need some distance on social distancing before we're ready to talk about it. Maybe. I mean, again, we don't know.
Or there'll be some trash within 6 months.
Oh, there'll always be trash. They'll be churning it out. Love in the time of coronavirus, pulpy novels, that sort of stuff. But maybe it'll sort of depend on how much more harrowing it is. But if it's, 10 million dead, 20 million dead, or whatever, then sort of it becomes
I have to wait till it's a Schindler's List level good.
Oh, you mean the quality of the film?
Yeah.
What do you mean the
Versatile.
scope of the disaster?
No.
Yeah, it's, I mean, that's, you know, outside of the realms of my own experience, you know, a personal connection to the Holocaust. But I'm sure for a lot of people who were touched by that, it was probably a while until they were okay to watch anything with Nazis in it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's if it's still kind of tender, maybe watching Nazis be amusing Fall Guys and Raiders of the Lost Ark isn't that fun. And even Spielberg said after he made Schindler's List, he's like, I couldn't go back to making an Indiana Jones film
Right.
with, you
Because
know,
for us, Nazis are
amusing
just
Nazis.
the end joke. Whereas for people who lived through that, it's like, no, that was a real.
Yeah,
actual
they came
thing.
to my house. It's all fun and games till they come to your house.
Right. But that's the thing where comedians say, like, it's all fun and games until it's your thing.
Like, I don't know, do you think people in Chernobyl were like, oh, there's a new HBO show, let's watch
God,
it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, as soon as this started, we all went out and watched fucking Contagion on Netflix.
So if you have any amazing ideas about fiction and love and drama and tension in the time of coronavirus that you think would make a wicked TV show or miniseries, put all the details in the comments below and we will steal your idea and make it into something for us, and then we'll sell it to Channel 7 or Foxtel or Netflix or something. Oh, and like, share, subscribe, all the gems.
Bye.